BeastNet is brought to you by James Safety Services in partnership with OCR Buddy and OCR Strong. Here we discuss all things OCR and fitness related. Welcome to BeastNet.
Hey, I grew up like terrified of Brussels sprouts. And it was actually just a couple months ago that I started eating them. But like coming back from vacation, I'm like, I just need to eat green things. Give me green things.
There you go.
So,
Right on. Yeah, no, I grew up same way. Hated Brussels sprouts, completely just despised them. And then I
yep.
got older and I actually ate them and I'm like, huh,
Yeah.
if they're cooked right, they're not so bad.
Like, why didn't anybody tell me about this?
Yeah.
Like, maybe get like a bourbon maple glaze with some bacon.
hmm
Whew.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the one thing that gets me. I think as I've gotten older, is there's so many things like, oh, it's so hard to eat healthy because healthy food tastes so bad. And you're like, you get older and you realize you just gotta cook it right.
Yeah. Seasoning.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up in Washington. They don't understand what seasoning is. I mean, it's
Hey,
one of those things I didn't realize it till I like left Washington. I'm like, oh my God, food's supposed to have taste.
I grew up in Wisconsin. Saturated fat is their seasoning.
Cheese. Cheese is their seasoning.
Saturated fats.
Hey, call it what you want. Cheese is amazing.
I know, I love cheese. Oh my gosh. Don't even, whew, if you want to have a whole conversation on my love of cheese.
And cheese
Did
makes
you
everything better.
you do know that I at one point started an Instagram account specifically for queso, right?
No, but now I need to find that.
I haven't posted on it in forever. But like I love queso. Like it's not even a joke. Like I am so obsessed with queso. If there is queso on the menu, I need to get it.
Yeah. And pretty much if you put cheese on something, I'll eat it. So
Yeah.
just saying.
But like getting something that's like has cheese on it, like that doesn't always make it better. Like you got to
No.
add your own cheese.
Yeah, it's got to be the right cheese. There's certain times
Yeah.
like someone just puts cheese on it and you're like, that cheese isn't, you should have gone with a different one.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
mean, I know what you were trying to do, but yeah.
I appreciate the effort, but like let's up our cheese game. And like you still need some seasonings, like find the right combination to like complement the cheese.
See, and like I'm crazy because like if I make biscuits and gravy, my gravy has I make my gravy with chorizo and cheddar cheese
Oh, okay.
melted into the gravy.
Oh,
So yeah,
okay.
yeah. I like I said, I like my cheese.
Hey, we could have an entire conversation about cheese.
Oh, we could.
We
But
really
what
could.
I really want to hear about is how Killington went because we've talked about it, and this has been your A race. This was the race that you were looking forward to, and it's always tough because I mean, once we're done with that, we're going to talk about my Ironman, which it's one of those that did I complete it? Yes. Am I happy with it? No. But we'll talk about that. So,
Well, so Killington, like you say, I was looking forward to it. Was I looking forward to it? Because like,
not towards the end. You were starting to get to that point, like, do I have to?
yeah, like I didn't want to race it. I felt like my training wasn't where it should have been. I was recovering from my ankle injury. I was creating the USA OCR coaching certification. I was dealing with, you know, things in my personal life. I'm overworked. I didn't get a break because, like, even though my clients took vacations, when one client goes away, two more clients come in and want to take their spot. Like, I'm so incredibly overworked. I was exhausted. I wasn't prepared for Killington. Like, I knew I could finish Killington, but I wasn't going to go fast. And, like,
Yeah.
that's exactly what happened. Um, I was just focused on like get me to transition. Okay, get me past all of the checkpoints. Like I know I'm gonna finish this thing. And like that was it. Like my body felt great. I probably should have refilled my hydration before the last climb of the first lap. I
Yeah.
realized that while I was getting like on that climb, I was like, oh, I am out of water and electrolytes, and I don't want to eat. And there's no water stations. Great. So, like, that significantly slowed me down. I thought that climb was miserable, but doing it the second time around, and I was like, make sure to fill your water bottle and pour some electrolytes in it. I felt great. I was like, just get me to the end of this thing. I go up, 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 and then I just go down.
Yeah. What's the nice part about like an ultra, and a lot of people think about when you have that second lap, you're like, okay, when you're doing the first lap, you're like, oops, probably should have done this. And on the second lap, you're like, okay, I'm smoked, I'm a little more tired, but I know what's coming ahead and I know how to get ready for it.
Yeah.
So there is that. I mean, you do have that advantage.
Like, I mean, I did great for what it was. Like, my time was so slow. Like, I acknowledge that. I could have gone significantly faster, but I was focused on, I need to finish this thing and not on, hey, I need to win this thing. So I was like, I started in elite because I've always started in elite. And like, I will say, I talked to somebody who DNF'd Killington again. They've DNF'd it numerous times. And they messaged me after and they were like, congratulations. And they're like, when I saw you had the red headband, oh, I knew you were gonna finish because you started so much earlier than me. Like, if you have the red headband, like, of course you're gonna finish. And it's like, no, like, I'm wearing the red headband because I race with integrity, and I've never not raced a Spartan Ultra, not like in anything below elite.
Well, and the one thing is too is, I mean, it's not like a lot of races where like a sprint or something. If you're doing elite, you start at like 7, everybody else starts at like 8:39.
Yeah,
Usually with an ultra, if you're elite, you start at like 6 and everybody else starts at 6:15.
right.
So it's not a huge
Right.
difference.
Like I I saw him on course. I was at the top of the ultra loop as he was coming down, not even getting to the ultra loop yet. Like I said hi, like, "Hey, how you feeling?" And he was hurting and he was like, I'm just trying to hold my heart rate in zone 2." And I wasn't going to be like, "No, that's the wrong strategy. You can't hold your heart rate in zone 2 in Killington because like there's not enough time."
No.
You're literally climbing a mountain. So I wasn't going to be like, "Oh, you're going to miss your time cutoff." But like when I saw him there, I knew he was going to miss it. Um, like it wasn't a matter of like a difference of that half hour would have got him to that time cutoff. So for him to like try to cheapen me finishing by like, well, of course you finished. You had a red headband. Like,
Yeah.
had I started half an hour later in open, would I have made it? Yes, because I know what the time cutoffs look like, and I would have said, I got to get to the time cutoff by this time, so I have to move at this pace. Like, there was plenty of time where I could have ran faster down the mountain. I
Yeah.
I did not stop once on the death march my
You
first lap.
strategized. You
Yeah,
strategize, which is, I
yeah,
mean, what you do on these races. You strategize. I mean, it's the same thing like what we'll talk about later when we talk about Ironman. That was in my brain the whole time. I knew when cutoffs were and I knew where I needed to be.
yeah. Like, I did plenty of body checks and said, could I go faster? Yeah, I could, but oh, this kind of feels off. Or, if I push myself here, what is the potential risk? You
Mhm.
know, I'm sprained my ankle in Jersey, so that's in the back of my head. Like, oh damn, if I try to descend right now as fast as possible, am I just gonna wreck my ankle? Or, whatever else. Like, I could have eaten more out on course. I stuck to predominantly gels because my body just didn't want food. So, like, yeah, I could have fueled better. Yeah, I could have ran better. I hiked pretty well. I did not cramp with the exception of the sandbag carry starting out the first and the second lap. I grabbed my sandbag and started up that half pipe, and that's when I cramped. And I was like, oh, okay, mustard packet. I don't believe that in it, but like, hey, placebo. Okay, let's keep going. Just got to get to transition. Just got to get to the finish line.
I
Like,
see mine is a pickle shot.
yeah, um I couldn't find any.
I got lucky at Waco because they were one of the sponsors because I didn't realize that
Okay.
the pickle shop people are out of Texas. So they
Yep.
were one of the sponsors and I went up and I was like, "Oh yeah, I need to get a box. I completely forgot."
Yeah.
And I was trying to get it and the guy's like the you know, point of sale system isn't working. And I'm like, "Well, if it's not working, that means they're free, right?" And he's like, "Yeah." And handed me a freaking case of them and I'm like, "Cool, I'm out before he changes his mind."
Yeah, no, I definitely like went on Amazon after I couldn't find them anywhere. And I tried to order myself a case and it wouldn't have gotten there in time.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And I
Yikes.
mean, I packed my hydration pack full enough that like I don't know how much more I would have wanted to carry, even just like small pickle shots. So, and literally only needed it for the sandbag carry right at the end of each lap.
Yeah.
But like I felt great the entire race. Like I never went into the dark place. I never had a negative headspace. I was smiling the entire time. I was laughing, making jokes, talking to people. Like, yes, I could have shaved probably an hour off of my time easily. I know where I could shave time off next time. I wasn't worried about that. I had no worry at all about moving any faster, even though I knew I could, because, all of the what ifs. I just needed to finish Killington.
Hmm.
Now I've finished it. Now I can push myself a little bit harder.
Yeah. And I mean, that's what it is sometimes. Sometimes it's just finishing it just so you can say, okay, I've done it now. Now I know what to look forward to next time.
Yeah, I know what it takes. I know what I can do better. Let's go.
Yeah.
You know,
Awesome.
first year at World's Toughest Mudder, I got 55 miles. The next time I said, I'm going for it. 75 miles, give it to me. And I turned everything around, even though I felt like my training wasn't where it should have been to hit my goals. I still hit it.
Hmm.
First time at Killington, I went super slow. Second time at Killington, I dropped over 2 hours off my beast time. Same thing happened in Palmerton. You know, got to
Yeah.
experience it. That's how my brain works.
Which, and that's what it is. I think that's the hard part that I get for a lot of times from people, and they're like, "Oh, that's not the right way to look at it." And it's like, but that's how my brain works, and that's how I look at it. It's like one of the arguments that I've had with people, like with a lot of my Iron Man bags. Some of my older ones, I call my failure bags, and they're like, "Well, that's not a good way to look at it." And I'm like, "Did I finish?" They're like, "Well, no, then it's a failure bag. It just reminds me that, hey, this is what happened. This is what I need to do to fix it for the next time." I'm not saying it in a negative way. I mean, it just people take it that way. To me, it's just I didn't complete, so now I know what I need to do next time. If it's exactly what it is. I failed the mission. Now it's a matter of figuring out why and fix it for next time.
Hmm.
And that's the way my brain works.
Right.
So, which I know a lot of people have issues with, but I'm like,
Hey,
just that's how my brain works.
everybody's different.
No,
You
no,
can't judge somebody for
mm,
their headspace.
no. And I mean, that's my headspace. So like I said, I don't take it as a negative. To me, it's a learning. You know, I've DNF'd two Spartans, I've DNF'd two Ironmans, and in all of them, I learned something. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, this is what I need to do for the next one.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah. I mean, going into it, I also knew that I had high rocks 2 weeks later. Like, I'm going from the hardest race of my life into something completely new that arguably I didn't train for. So,
mm,
like, and I had a partner at High Rocks, so I couldn't let them down by saying, oh, well, I broke my ankle out in Killington. So,
yeah.
like, I had to take care of myself.
Well, and I think that's the hardest thing is a lot of times we look at races. I mean, we have our A races, but at the same time, you're like, cool, this is my A race, but I
Right.
still have other stuff I want to do after. It's like this year when I went to go do Galveston and the weather was horrible and everything else, and I'm like, I have other races I want to do this year. I'm not going to
Yeah.
take the chance to wreck my bike or wreck my body
Yeah.
just to finish this race. That's only two-thirds of what I wanted to do anyway. So,
Exactly.
why put yourself, and I think that's part of the thing, like as you get older. When I was younger, I'd have been like, well, I signed up for it, better go do it. And now it's like, no, I'm not going to take the
Yeah.
chance of ruining the rest of my season for something that I'm not even going to enjoy.
Right. And that's why I actually stopped signing up for races in advance. Like High Rocks, we signed up as soon as it went on sale because like it sells out really quickly, and my friend
Hmm.
wanted we wanted to do it. So it's like, okay, let's do it. But legitimately, the night before or 2 nights before, whatever else, he was texting me and said, "Oh, my back's terrible. I don't feel ready. We really should have just gotten the Flex add-on and we should have pushed this because like this isn't going to be pretty." And it's like, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Like, I didn't sign up for Killington until literally the week of because I didn't know if I truly wanted to do it. I was trained for it. I had paid for an Airbnb, but for some reason I was like, I just can't pull the trigger yet. I just feel like I'm not ready. And if I don't feel ready, what am I doing going out there just to like set myself up for failure?
Yeah, which is true. And it's one of those things, but like High Rocks too, it's one of those things because, like you said, it was a first time experience. So that's kind of one of those ones that, not to sound bad, the first time you want to do good, but it's a lot of the learning, like, okay, what is this?
Yeah. I mean, my High Rocks, like, bless his heart, I love my friend. He was not ready. Like, I didn't train for High Rocks aside from I was doing sled pull, sled push for my Killington training. And then I put my non-impact cardio on a rower and a ski erg instead of what I was doing because, like, oh, I should probably train for this. Um, but otherwise, I didn't do anything to get ready for High Rocks. I trained for Killington. So
Yeah.
then when we went out, I was feeling great. My body was, getting all of the benefits from Killington. My friend had thrown his back out about a month before. He hired a coach for High Rocks. He couldn't do anything for a solid month. We started running. He ended up needing to walk the entire running laps, like every single one of them. I mean, he would find places where he would catch up, and like I would have to do like a slow little trot next to him. And like, you know, that's what he had to do to keep going. He didn't want to quit for me, and I, wasn't going to tap out of High Rocks or risk getting injured at Killington for him.
Yeah.
So like, can I run High Rocks faster? Oh yeah, 100%. There were times where, our plan was like, let's split things 50-50, which apparently in mixed doubles, it's usually like the men 75, the women 25, which I think is BS. Like
A
the
little
women
bit.
the women should be doing 50% of the work if they're signing up for a mixed race.
Yeah.
But like we would get moving and I did 500 meters on the ski erg right out of the gate as I'm seeing people switching on and off every 100, 200, whatever else. So I say, okay, Brian, 500, swap out. He got to like 800 or something and was like, hey, I need you to swap out. And I was like, oh, okay. So I finished up the ski erg. And then as we were doing the sleds, I did one length and it was like, okay, your turn. He did one, then we switched off again. I did one. He's like, that tweaked my back. I think I need you to do this. I'm like, um, I have the wrong shoes on. Like, we're dying here on these sleds. Like, your back hurts and I can't get anything from my feet to actually get this moving. So, like, that happened on both sleds. So, like, yeah, we can make up time there. But, like, I was okay when I did one of the lanes down in the burpees broad jumps. He took over coming back, and every couple of burpees broad jumps, he was like, hey, I need you to swap out. Hey, I need you to swap out. Like, okay, that's fine. On the wall balls, my judge was telling me I was completely crushing it. I hit depth every single time. The only time I no repped was because I hit right, like I was a little too underneath and I hit the bottom of the target instead of kind of arcing it. And so, like, that was my one no rep, but like, we had a strategy of every 10, we're going to swap out. I saw the kind of pain he was in, and I said, okay, I'm going to do at least 15 reps when I have the ball. And then, he no repped a few. I we would swap out. He would say, "Hey, I don't know that I can do it to this." I said, "No, I'm holding you accountable. Like you're
Mm,
doing this." And yeah, our time was nowhere where I wanted it to be. I could have done that a lot faster, but I'm so proud of him for finishing it. And he thanked me for keeping him accountable because I know he doesn't feel the greatest that, you know, he feels like he let me down. And I just want him
mhm.
to know, like, I'm proud of you. Like, I could have swapped out a good amount, maybe not on the sleds, but, if he needed me to swap out more, like, yeah, I could have taken over or I could have yelled at him and been like, "Hey, don't spend so much time on your rower because your rowing pace is dropping," or whatever else. But I was like, no, keep going, keep going. If you feel good, you want to take on more of the work, keep going, keep going. Like it got to the point where we would be on our lap and I would say, "Hey, do you want to start this next station and do what you can and then I'll just take over from there?" And he's like, "Yeah, that's probably the best strategy." So like that that's how we went into it, and I'm proud of him for not tapping out. I'm proud of him for finishing. We know what we need to work on, and like, hey, if I want to try a high rocks again in the future, I think I could crush it because I
Yeah.
felt great.
Well, and that's the thing is like I said, it's a learning thing. This is a new thing for you. You're trying it out. It's like now all of a sudden, okay, cool. You know what it is now. You know
Yeah,
what to do. It's like we do with a lot of things. So, which is
yeah,
awesome.
yeah,
I mean, and to push through stuff like that where your back's tweaked or whatever. I mean, you want to keep going, but at the same time, it's like we
yeah,
mentioned earlier, you don't want to be like, okay, cool. Well, I pushed myself to get through this, and now I can't do these five things that I was planning on doing in the next
yeah,
couple months.
exactly.
So it's a balancing act. It's one of those things, and when I was younger, I would have just pushed through everything and then keep pushing through the pain, and then all of a sudden, a knee doesn't work anymore, and it's not good. So,
Yeah, yeah, risk
yeah,
reward,
yeah. So, I guess you learn as you get older, I guess. So, well,
I
that sounds
guess.
awesome. I want to do high rocks. That's one of the ones I want to do. I've been looking like the Spartan deck. I don't know even. I think they're similar. I don't know. I haven't looked close enough at them because I've been focusing so hard on like the Ironmans and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah,
So someday I want to try both of those. But
okay. I have no desire to do a DECA. Um, I
it's
disagree with a lot of the DECA stuff.
like I said, I haven't looked that close at them because it's just one of those things. Of course, because I do Spartans, I see all the emails all the time, like, "Oh, do this deck," and I'm like, "But why?" So,
Yeah,
but it's one of those things I see people and they're like, "I might try it sometime just to do it," but it's not. It will
yeah,
never be up there, way up on my list. Like if it's like, "Hey, do this or this," I'm probably going to choose whatever the other thing is.
yep,
But I mean, right now, because I mean, we know I've been focusing on triathlons. You know,
yeah.
I mentioned it. I did the Ironman over the weekend. Not happy with some things, but that was my own fault. But
Well, let's talk about it. What happened?
well, let's see. So, of course, and this is my own fault. The night before, of course, it's everyone knows I'm from Seattle, so of course I'm a Seattle Mariners fan. The night before, the Seattle Mariners and what is it? Who they playing? Detroit?
Yep.
Yeah, playing Detroit. Extra innings. Game doesn't end till like 11:30. I'm trying to go to sleep, but of course the
Oh,
TV's on, and of course I gotta see this game. So
isn't it
I'm
only
up.
game one?
Yeah, it was only game one, but I'm still like, I mean, we've been waiting as a Mariner fan. We've been waiting for this for a long
No,
time.
I get it. I get
Yeah.
it.
So I mean, it was one of those things. So I stayed up too late watching that. Whatever. That's whatever. The next morning, I get up, I get into the swim. The water temperature was 80.3 degrees, and I'm like,
Oh,
there's no way I'm wearing a wetsuit because I will bake. So
yeah.
I'm doing this without a wetsuit. And most people know I haven't done a long swim like that without a wetsuit. So I'm worried about it. I get in the water, actually the best swim I've ever had.
Really amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it went great. I felt awesome in the water. I never had any breathing problems, and I just went. And I mean, it's one of those things I kept talking about, like the downriver. The downriver had no effect, like at all. You couldn't even tell it was a downriver swim. It was just like swimming a normal, whatever. So, probably the best swim I've ever had. Get out of the water, awesome. It was the transition. My Garmin measured it at almost half a mile. From the time I got out of the water
What?
till I started riding the bike was over half a mile. So it was a
That's
long
crazy.
transition. So we're going, and somewhere along the way, I stepped on something
Oh,
because you're barefoot the whole time. And it's
yeah.
like right just below your toes, right on the pads, right there
Yep.
on the front of your feet. I
Yep.
stepped on something. I didn't see anything, couldn't find anything. I'm like, whatever. Put my socks on, put my shoes on, hop on the bike, take off. But I could feel it.
Yep.
So about mile 20 or so, my hip and my quad on my other leg started to have issues because I know and I know exactly what it was. I was compensating because I couldn't push really hard on my right foot because of whatever I stepped on. Plus the roads were horrible. They said it was a flat route. It was over 1,200 feet elevation gain, flat my ass.
Really?
Oh yeah. And there was not shade the whole time. It was 92 degrees out and not a shade
Oh,
to at all. Um, which I mean, whatever. I was training for that. I knew it was going to be hot. I knew that, so I was okay. Because basically I'm cheap. It sounds bad, but I just take like a 24-ounce smart water and put it in my bike, water holder. Put some electrolytes in it, drink that till I get to the first water station, swap out another bottle and go. The only mistake I made is normally they have water with Mortal in it, which I'm fine with that. It works. But the first two water stations, they were out. So it was just straight water. So I didn't get electrolytes. But still, whatever. I got water, I cooled down. But because of my hip and my leg, I started having issues. So like mile 20 to probably mile 40, my time dropped bad.
oh,
So I
okay.
went from, I think I was averaging like 16 to 17 miles an hour. I dropped almost to 12
Oh, wow.
because of the hills, and I just couldn't. My hip was so bad I could barely push. I had to clip my foot and go. I did finally figure out that if I stood up and pedaled, it didn't put as much pressure on my leg and I could get. And that's when about mile 40 it started to give away and I went. So my bike ride took, I was hoping for like 3:15 to 3:30. I was at 4 hours. So I
Okay.
was way over on the bike. I got off the bike, of course, went to run, legs still angry.
Yep.
Um, Plus I'm pretty sure I was close to heat exhaustion, not bad, but enough that
Yep.
I was feeling it. Like you, I had problems. I couldn't eat. I was hungry. I had food with me. I couldn't eat. I kept trying to eat it, and I mean, immediately almost wanted to puke. So I'm like, whatever. I got like one honey stinger down, honey waffle down. So for the first lap, horrible. I was doing horrible, trying to keep up. My body just was shutting down. My leg was killing me. And then it was pretty much like, because there's two laps, 6.5 miles on each lap. About 2 miles left into this first lap. I'm looking at my time and I'm looking at everything going, if I don't pull my head out of my ass and do something, I'm not going to finish this. And so the second lap, Amber said she was even watching because they give the notifications of where
Yep.
you're at. She said all of a sudden it was saying that I was going to finish like an hour and a half late. And then all of a sudden it just time started getting better as, I started going on the laps because all of a sudden in my brain, I'm like, if I don't step up, I'm going to be in trouble. So I pushed. I still wasn't getting the times that I wanted, but because, like I said, that my left leg, it's still bugging me, and my
Yeah.
foot is still bugging me from whatever I stepped on, and it's 5 days later. Um, I finished not in the time I wanted. I'm not happy. I'm not happy with the time, but I know I had issues. I pushed through them. I made it. Um, Funny can be when I finished. First time this ever happened to me, like I literally, because I sprinted across, the finish, because you have to run across the finish. So I'm
Yep.
sprinting down
Yep.
because it's down a bridge, sprinting down the bridge, cross the bridge, stop so they can put the metal on me, and my legs from the hips to my ankles completely seized,
Oh, wow.
just locked. Like muscles cramped, everything went. They actually had to like put me in a wheelchair and take me
Yep.
down because I couldn't. They're looking at me going like, "Do you need?" I'm like, "I can't walk. My legs are done." So I drink. So like, just give me some water. Give me like 5 minutes. Just give me some water. Let me sit here for a minute.
Yep.
And after that, I was like, okay, walked, got the bike, went home. But it was. I learned a lot from it.
Okay.
The foot issue. I don't know what to do about the foot thing because the problem with an Ironman, you can't wear any kind of booties while you swim.
Really?
No, you can't. It's like, because I have neoprene like booties, because I did for a couple of races when I first started. I wore the neoprene booties because I was worried about stepping on something. I could wear like flip flops because you had to walk a mile, 1.2 miles upriver to swim downriver. Um, so I wore flip flops for that, and you could put them in a bag, and they gave them to you at the end of the race.
Oh, okay.
But once you got out of the water, that like to get up to where the bike was, you're just
Nothing.
barefoot. So, I don't know what to do about that, but I mean, I felt like everything else fell into place. And it sounds stupid, but that little whatever it is stuck in my foot, because Amber actually was able to pull something out of it like last night.
Okay.
So there was something that stuck in my foot.
Yeah.
Um, so it's like that little thing is what threw everything off. It threw my pedaling off, it threw everything off and just kind of spiraled everything. So I'm happy I finished. I'm not happy about my time. I feel like I could have done better if plus I mean I trained for a flat course because I didn't even see I saw the elevation map like they sent it out like a week before and I'm like that doesn't look like a flat course. So they called it flat, but like I said, it was 1,200 feet elevation. And the roads were
Wow.
so bad, like four different times I stopped to check because I thought I blew a tire. Like literally the roads were so bad. I'm like, I'm pretty sure I have a flat tire. And I stopped. I'm like, nope, tires are fine, I guess, and took off. But I mean, there was a lot of people that blew tires. I mean, there was a lot of blown tires in that race. So,
Yikes.
I mean, it was a learning experience.
Yep.
Um, it's one of those things like I said, I'm not happy. I felt like my stamina for the bike was there.
Hmm.
If it wasn't for that my foot not being able to push, I think I would have been okay and been about the time I wanted. But that's the hard part is you can train as much as you want, as hard as you want for different things, but there's certain things something's gonna happen that's like, oh yeah, never even thought about this.
Yep.
Never thought about stepping on something, and having something like in my foot so that I couldn't pedal quite right.
Right.
But but I mean, like I said, I finished it. I mean, I was happy with myself that I got the grit. If I hadn't because I know there was people that I was with on the first lap that got pulled. So if I would have stayed at the pace that I was with, that I was doing on the first lap before I was suddenly like, okay, you need to pull your head out of your butt and go, or you're going to be screwed. If I had stayed where they were at and doing the pace that I would have been pulled.
Hmm.
So I finished. I was about what? I was 26 minutes over on my time.
Okay.
So, which is honestly about the same I was at Galveston. Maybe actually a couple minutes slower. But
Okay.
Galveston was also flat as a freaking pancake. So,
Yeah.
but so I feel like I did better, but I still kind of came out with the same outcome.
Okay.
Yeah,
And how are you feeling now?
frustrated, honestly, because I feel like I've trained so much. I put a lot of time on the bike, put a lot of time into everything. The one thing that made me really happy though was the swim. Best swim. I mean, it just everything clicked.
Hmm.
And the hardest part in my brain I keep trying to put together is it because of the temperature of the water, because I didn't have a wetsuit, or because of the training?
Right.
Because it's kind of one of those things that I'm thinking maybe the water temperature when I get cold water that might be part of the problem I'm having with breathing because the water was 80 degrees. It felt
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
So I mean the best swim I've ever had. And like I said, the bike, I felt great on the bike. I felt like it was good except for that foot.
Yeah.
So I feel good about where my training was. I still feel like I should do a little bit. I need to get more training and get a little bit better at some of that stuff. Um, I feel like I let myself down on the running though. I've been working so hard on the bike and the swim that I let the running go too much.
But arguably, you also had a problem with your foot.
Yes,
So,
which
like,
is true. Yeah.
you know, do you think you would have done substantially better in the running if that didn't happen to your foot?
Yes, I do. I mean, because like I said, when I got off the bike, I couldn't for that first probably 5 miles. I couldn't get anytime I tried running, it was just pain shooting up my quad and my hip.
Okay.
And it was pretty much about after about 5 miles where it kind of worked out enough that I'm like, okay, either I've just been out here so long I'm numb and I'm not feeling the
Hmm.
pain anymore, or it's starting to work its way out.
Yeah.
And then I could start going, but I still couldn't get, because of my foot, I still couldn't get the pace that I wanted. So I was still at best getting like a 13, 14 minute mile when I should have been down closer to like 10 or 11.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so it wasn't perfect, but like I said, I feel like I learned some things. I feel, even though the time doesn't show it, I feel it was better than Galveston, 2 years ago, because Galveston was less of a physical issue and more of just not being ready. I
Yep.
feel like I was more ready for this one. It just, stuff happened.
Yeah, and like those were out of your control.
Yeah.
Like, what could you have like watched where you're going better? Maybe, but like you can't control what's on the ground, especially if you're running barefoot. And like,
Well,
how much barefoot running training are you doing?
and I mean, the thing is too, is like where the bikes were at, they told us when we put them there, they're like, you might want to carry them because there's like stickers and thorns that it might pop your tire. And I'm like, but we got to run here barefoot
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Which I mean, I do actually. I mean, I'm one of those people. I love being barefoot. I'm barefoot all the time. Like I work
Same.
out barefoot, but I
Yep.
also have, 3/4 inch foam padding in my gym to work out with. And
Yep.
I mean, so it's not running through an area where they're like, hey, don't ride your bike through here because the thorns might pop your tires.
Right. But
So,
put your bike here because you have to ride it through here tomorrow.
well, they told us pretty much that we should carry it in, and then when we leave transition, we should carry it out of transition until we hit the road.
What?
So yeah, that was part of the,
You just
yeah,
swam a good amount.
yeah,
Make sure to carry this bike.
yeah. Make sure to go half a mile from where you came out of the water,
Run
pick up your
barefoot.
bike, run in
Yeah.
barefoot, then pick up your
And
bike after putting everything on and carry it out.
not to mention your shoes have clips on them, so it's not like you're walking on like normal shoes.
No, no, no. But I mean, there was a couple things like there one of the hills as I was coming up, because I thought it was one of the spots I thought I blew a tire. So I stopped because I'm like, crap. And then realized, nope, the road just sucks. But then trying to start on the hill again. And
Oh
at that,
yeah.
my hip and my leg were hurting. I'm like, maybe if I just walk for a couple feet and see if I could stretch, try and get that leg up. And then I got like 20 feet or so as I'm walking, and I look up and I see the cameraman like 200 feet ahead of me. And I'm like, I got to get back on the bike because if they get a picture of me walking with this thing, I'll never hear the end of it.
That's funny.
But yeah, so it was just that was the biggest thing, was trying to get that leg to stretch. I mean, it feels better now, but like I've been doing my VR workouts and stuff. I did like twice today, and it's still, that hip and that leg is still not
Yeah.
happy. So,
Yeah.
but I mean, I know I did something, but I don't think, again, I don't think I hurt it. I don't think I pulled anything. I think it's more just because I had to compensate because of that foot, that I overused, and now it's sore. Like, hey, this isn't what we're supposed to be doing, buddy. So,
Hmm.
but I also feel like honestly, the hills helped me, and it sounds really bad to say this after riding as much as I do, helped me learn some things about my bike.
Yeah.
Because I'm really horrible about, like, I use the front. That's it. I only use the front rail pretty much. Typically,
Okay.
I go, hard hill, downhill, hill. And that's pretty much it. It's just the two. And this one, because the hills were so long and just whatever, I actually started saying, okay, maybe I need to start using the back rail
Yeah.
and make this a little bit different. And I was noticing towards the end, I'm like, okay, I think I found the sweet spot for these hills. If I move this shifter here and this shifter there, it gives me like, I'm not slogging. I can pedal better and I'm moving. And so it's one of those things that I'm, partly it's hard to do in Houston because we don't have hills, but
Hmm.
it gave me that kind of like, okay, I feel like I understand the bike better. So I mean, that was kind of cool. So it gave me that, because like Galveston, I shifted once, or actually
Yeah.
twice in the whole race. Once to go up the bridge and then twice to come back over the bridge on the way back, because that's the only elevation in the entire race in Galveston.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Galveston in 56 miles, you go like 120 feet elevation. That's it.
That's it?
Yeah. There's a
Is
bridge. You go right down the seawall and you go up and over a bridge for like 60 feet, turn around. And then when you do the turn around and come back, you go back up and over the bridge for 60 feet. That's about it. It's the
Is
entire elevation on the whole bike ride in
That's too
Galveston.
funny.
Yeah.
I,
So Waco was, like I said, about 1,200 feet. So
when my sister ran the BAA 5K once, and I think it's the only time she's ever ran a race, period. And if you've ever, if you know anything about Boston and the BAA races, so it starts at the Common and then it runs down Commonwealth Ave. And on Commonwealth, Mass Ave comes over the top, so you have to go down to get underneath Mass Ave, and then
mhm.
you come back up, and then they turn you around underneath a separate bridge, and then you have to go back down under Mass Ave and up to then go and turn Hereford to Boylston, run across the marathon finish line, and then you finish at the Commons. We were sitting after the race and we were talking and eating, and my sister goes, "Nobody told me there was a hill involved." I look at my watch, it says total elevation 4 feet. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, you mean those 4 feet? Like, where you literally just had to go under because we had to, Mass Ave came over the top. Like, you just had to get out of the way of another busy street.
Yeah.
that that elevation. That reminds me of that. Um,
That's one thing in Houston. I've had so many times where like, oh, we're gonna go do this route. It's a hilly route, and I'm like, where?
where
It's like I'm from Washington. I mean,
I will say, running High Rocks after running the Killington Ultra, like I saw my chiropractor after Killington. It was the week of High Rocks. I was feeling great. My ankles were feeling phenomenal. High Rocks comes around and I'm doing the running, and I don't know if it was because of how flat it was or if it's because for me, like personal victory for me is I'm gonna run every single second of the running laps.
yeah,
So even though Brian can't run, I am gonna maintain my jogging gait as close to him as I possibly can. But like, I'm not gonna walk. I'm not that person that's gonna get caught walking at High Rocks. Like, it's only 1 kilometer at a time. Like, I can do that. So I was determined and I never walked. But like midway through the race, I was like, why is my ankle hurting now? And it has been so achy ever since. And again, I don't know if it's because of how flat it was. And I got no flat running in training for
no,
Killington because like that's not going to help me at all.
no.
Um, or if it's just like my gait was so incredibly shortened. Like,
Well, and that's the thing that gets us with your body. I mean, it's one of those things. Like I said, I mean, my whole thing was like I've never had a problem with my hip or my quad like that. And then I'm like, and I'm sitting there and I'm like, why is this happening? And then I'm like, oh yeah, because my right foot's hurting.
yeah,
So I'm not putting the pressure I should there. So I'm riding completely different and pedaling completely different than I normally would.
yep,
So, and there's the problem, and that's the thing. Like you're saying, could it be because your gait's a little different because you're still running at a gait but running slower, and now all of a sudden your ankle's like, this isn't how we do things.
yeah. Like, oh, you're like having to get more up onto the ball of your foot to try and maintain this because you can't actually get a full stride. You're decreasing your stride length to make up for the pacing. So you're slowing it down by decreasing your stride length instead of just walking.
Yeah, yeah, which is crazy. The one thing I will say in the Ironman that made me really happy, I have never come out of the water and gone up to transition where there were so many bikes left.
Really?
Typically, when I come out of the water, I'm like, there's like maybe 20 bikes left.
You're like, oh, hey, look, there's my bike.
Yeah, I'm like, there's a whole bunch of bikes here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so it was really cool when I came out of the water, like, oh, I'm actually, and I could also tell this was a lot harder race because I was kind of at the back, obviously, because of everything that was going on, but there was a lot of people behind me.
Really?
Yeah, there was a lot of people. So I'm coming around because it's a double loop. You do the loop twice. And when I went to go back around the loop and I'm looking and I'm like, oh, there's a lot of people behind me.
Wow.
So, and I'm like, oh. But then I'm also, like you, I'm looking at the time going, I know what time I need to finish.
Yeah.
Like the first lap, I knew what time I had to be past like mile 6. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to beat that by like 25 minutes. So we're good, you know. And then, the finish, I was worried. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to hit in time. I know I wasn't last, but there wasn't a lot of people that finished after me.
Yeah.
So,
But
but
because a lot of people got pulled.
yes, there was a lot of people that got pulled. Like I said, there was a couple people that were with me on the first lap that when I went to get the bike, I saw them and talked to them and I said, yeah, they got pulled with
Yeah.
like one of them said she had 1.8 miles left.
Oh, that sucks.
And that was my biggest fear. So I'm looking at the time going, I need to go.
Yeah.
So I even told, because I mean, technically you're not supposed to have your phone or whatever, but I had mine and I put on the interval thing just to give me that, like, hey, you need to move. You need to
Yeah.
go, you know. So it was tough, but I mean, it's one of those things that, like I said, I feel I learned a few things. I learned some things about my bike. I learned how to do it better, but I also, but like I said, the foot thing, I don't know how to fix that because that's the problem. It's like I can't, you can't wear anything.
Yeah.
I mean, unless I'm gonna stuff like flip-flops down my swim trunks.
Right. But like trying to get from the swim to the bike in flip-flops, like you're better off just going barefoot
Hmm.
because
You're gonna
you're not,
slip and yeah,
yeah. You can't run. You're, slipping and sliding all over the place.
yeah, which was it was definitely interesting. And it was one of those things too. They had it a lot like Galveston, they let us in Washington too when I did those ones. They let us get farther like out to the
Yep.
sides as we raced. And because we're in a river, it was a lot more narrow. So you
Oh,
couldn't go out that far. So we were a lot more jammed in with each other. And like I could have gone faster if I had started with a faster group ahead of me. Because the problem I kept running into, there was people I kept basically running into and running over while I was swimming because they were slower than me. But then I would hit them and kind of stop for a second. They'd get ahead again, and then I'd run into them again. So, and I kept trying to like move over to one side or the other and somehow kept running into them. But
and that is why I'll never do a triathlon.
it's tough. That's one of the hardest parts in the swim is trying to finding that lane.
Yeah,
And this was the first time I wasn't having the problem. I only had like one or two people that actually like came up and caught up to me. For most of this one, I was actually catching the people in front of me. So, which
amazing.
to me felt amazing. So I'm just like, this is awesome. So,
You
so I
know,
was happy. I was happy
take
with the
the vi-
swim.
take the victories.
Mm,
You know, you did phenomenal on that swim. Take those lessons and put it towards the next one because
mm,
there's going to be a next one. You're doing a full.
mm.
So keep that training up, you
Yes.
know? If you don't use it, you'll lose it. So everything that you did to train for this one, do it all over again, but increase, your distance.
Yeah.
And then say, okay, you can't change what's on the ground when you're having to run barefoot.
No.
So like don't kick yourself over that.
I know,
Just
but it's still frustrating though because it's like you
I
trained
know.
so hard and you want to know what it could have like what could it have been
Yeah. That's
if that didn't
literally
happen.
that's literally the only reason why I want to run Jersey next year is like I know I could have ran the Jersey Ultra fast. Fast for me.
Hmm.
Like maybe not podium, but like I know that I could have ran the Jersey Ultra under 12 hours.
Right.
Under 11 hours probably, but I sprained my ankle. So like it is what it is. I can't sit here and beat myself up for spraining my ankle. Like
No.
that's my body. I, rehabbed it and I know what to work on and like, okay, let's go do it again.
Yeah. And that's the hard part. It's just a matter of now I'm trying to figure out, okay, do I want to? I'll be honest, um I don't think I want to do Waco again.
So don't.
So I'm trying to figure out what I want to do again next year. If I want to do, I mean, the problem I have with Galveston is too early and the weather's too unpredictable.
Yep.
So I'm trying to figure out because I don't want to do, and I think I told you I switched my full. I'm going to do Jacksonville, Florida
Yep.
instead of California. One, because of the travel, it's easier to like. That's my biggest worry, and Amber too. Like if we ship the bike, so if something goes wrong and it gets,
Yep.
whatever. Um, so I worry big time about that, like not getting put back together right,
Yep.
whatever, what could happen. So I'm thinking of Jacksonville, so that gives me, that's what, I think May of 26 or 27. So I have like a year and a
Okay.
half. So I want to do another one. I think another half next year. I just got to figure out which one I want to do.
Okay.
So, and I'm still trying to get like at least a 5K in every state. So, which by the time this airs, I'll probably have Alabama because I'm flying to there on Monday. So.
Oh, amazing.
And I have a virtual one that was already in that I'd already ordered for like it's the hot cider like virtual 10K. And I'm like, well, but guess what? That's what I'm doing in Alabama. So
Okay.
yeah. So work's got me. That was the other stressful part. The Friday before Ironman, I found out they were laying off my one other person in my team. So
Really? Oh my
yes.
gosh, that's
So I
terrible.
got the news that he's being laid off, and it's like cool. So all of your stuff and his stuff, because I was the corporate safety manager, and he was my safety specialist, and kind of did all the ground level stuff.
Yep.
They're like, cool, now that's all yours too, and I'm like, awesome.
And did I see you're starting a doctorate?
Yes, I just got to accept. That was the other fun part. Like it's like everything else happening, and then all of a sudden I got the email saying, hey, you're accepted the doctorate program, and I'm like, I'm not sure if I can do that now, but okay, we'll make it work.
How do you have the time?
I don't know. I told my wife I may have to start doing cocaine again, but it was like, geez, this is a lot of stuff. So, but I'm kidding everyone that's listening. I don't do cocaine. Um, but it's
Hug,
been
hugs, not
stressful.
drugs.
Yes,
Hugs, not
hugs, not
drugs.
drugs. Hugs, not drugs. But it is interesting. Yeah, when I got that notification, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. So yeah, so I'm starting the doctorate program next month. Actually, what's funny is I start the doctorate program when I fly to South Carolina because I'm doing the. I also got talked into somehow doing an ultra in South Carolina. So,
Oh, awesome.
well, Blind Pete needed a guide, so they're like,
Okay.
Mike, you want to guide Blind Pete through an ultra? And I'm like, sure.
Well, at least that one shouldn't be too terrible.
No, it shouldn't be. So I figured I got my belt buckle for North Carolina. I might as well have one for South Carolina too.
Yeah.
So,
There you go.
but at this point, I'm going to be missing Louis on the south end of the United States. The only thing I'll be missing is Louisiana,
Okay.
which I think I'm going to do. There's a 10K next year that my friend Angie wants me to come do with her in New Orleans. So I'm like, there we go. That covers
There you
Louisiana.
go. There you go.
And with work, I think I might be getting Virginia in the next month and maybe Detroit.
Oh,
So
awesome. I really
yeah.
want to do what is that? The Detroit half where they go across the bridge
Yes,
into
that's the
Canada.
one I want. I want that one. I got to figure when that one is because that's the one I want for Michigan. Is I want to do that one because then I can cover Michigan and what is that? Quebec?
No,
No, which one is that?
um
Ottawa?
so
No, I'm
no,
horrible.
that's
I'm horrible at geography.
Ontario
Ontario. There we go.
because
Because
you go over to Windsor, which
yeah,
Windsor is like terrible. I apologize for anybody listening in Canada, but Windsor is disgusting.
yeah,
It's the equivalent of Camden, New Jersey.
yeah. Because I've done British Columbia.
Okay.
So I've done a race in British Columbia. I did that. I can't remember some mud run. One time we
Yep.
went up to British Columbia because living in Washington, British Columbia was like
Yeah,
30 miles. In the Ragnar, technically, we would jump across the border during the Ragnar, but
it's not official.
no, we actually started on the Washington side, but the border is a freaking curb that you could step over. So,
Oh.
so every picture that we always have of our team picture when we start the race on that for the first van, the people standing in the back are always standing in Canada because we're standing on the other side of the curb.
That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, so I mean I want to try and get, like I said, I want a 5K in every state. So I
Yeah.
got Mississippi a couple weeks ago because I had to go there for work, and I'm like, I had the Bimbo Foods had like a virtual 10K, and I'm like, yeah, I'd already signed up for it, and it's the right week, so I'm gonna be in Mississippi, might as well do it there. So I ran a 10K in Mississippi doing that one. So
But have you done any of New England yet?
nope, I
Okay.
haven't because I've been pretty much the entire West Coast. all the way to Montana, and then south, and then pretty much everything east of that I haven't. I've hit, Oklahoma, Texas, Georgia, stuff like that because I've done because I was with you when I did Georgia,
Yep.
and some of those. So in Florida, but I haven't gone northeast yet. I want to get up there. I've been to Connecticut once in my life, but
It's
haven't ran there yet.
that's just a parking lot simulation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I was there wrecking a building, so I just had to go do some training while I was there.
Hey, at least you got out of traffic.
Yeah. I just remember the biggest thing I remember there is like when I booked the hotel and then I got there and I'm like, pretty sure the picture of this hotel was 40 years ago because this is not right.
Well, got to get up to Boston.
I want to. That's one of my plans. I might be getting Virginia, like I said, soon because my company we just got well, maybe when the government decides to open back up, we got a contract on a job
Ugh,
in Virginia. So
ugh. Who knows if that'll ever happen?
that's the hard part because basically most of what we do is government, like on military bases, stuff like that. So we have multiples that are like, hey, the contract's yours. Oh no, there's nobody signed for it.
Yeah. Hey, I was worried that I wasn't going to be able to get back into the country because I was like, you're telling me I have to go through customs the day after the government shuts down?
Yeah.
Like, what do I do? Go through and thank them for working when they're not getting paid?
Yeah, no. Yeah, that's gonna be interesting. Hopefully it won't last much longer, but who knows? With everything
No.
with all that, we won't go deep into that because that's a deep, dark hole.
Yeah. But hey, don't forget if you filed an extension for your taxes, those are due because my tax guy keeps harassing me. So,
Yeah, of
government's
course they
shut
are.
down, but you still got to pay your taxes.
Yeah. Well, that's the funny thing for us. Like we have a bunch of stuff. Like we have contracts that we're supposed to be working on, but it's considered essential, so we're supposed to continue doing it. But then it's like, but are you gonna pay us?
Right, exactly. Why should I pay the government if they're not going to do their job?
Yeah. It's like, but are you gonna pay us for doing this? I mean, yeah. And then other ones where it's like, hey, yeah, we want you to start this, but there's nobody to sign the contract, but we still want you to start. And it's like, well,
Nope,
I mean,
nope, nope.
we're,
Liability, that's the thing.
we kind of need a contract. Yeah.
Not touching a thing without the contract.
Yeah.
Don't sue
So,
me.
but it's one of those things that gets interesting. So yeah, so there's one thing that like my company that I work for, they're so big on like government contracts. That's one of the reasons I kind of lost my safety specialist because we're already a little bit behind. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, hey, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and of course, companies, as soon as like money starts getting tight, what can we get rid of? Oh, safety, that's not important.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're going to get rid of OSHA anyways, right?
Yeah, but I think even if they did, even if OSHA was completely gone, there's so many companies now that have figured out how much you can save insurance wise by being safe that I think it would still go. There would be some issues because you're going to have some companies that are like, screw it. But
Yeah,
if it's legal, it's moral. Not really. But
right. But that is for another time.
that is for another time. That's a whole nother podcast. In fact, earlier today, I did one on a podcast where I was talking about apartheid, and then, so that's where like legal and morality kind of
Mm,
or don't match.
this is the more fun podcast.
Yes, it is. It is. But I will say, I learned a lot on the other one where it's like, oh, I've always known about this my entire life, but now I know like the depths of it and how like I knew it was bad, but oh
Yeah.
God. Yeah, yeah. So, but it's one of those things. I mean, it's also good to look at stuff like that and say, okay, this is where things have gone, and this is where we might end up if we don't fix some things.
Yeah.
So there's work to do. It's one of those things, but it's like working out. It's like exercise. Hey, this is how everything went bad. This is what we need to do to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yep.
So what's your next big one? What's your next big race? Are you taking a break?
I don't know. Like, part of me is like, I really want to go run an ultra. But like, I did legs today for the first time in a while, and then I had my non-impact cardio, and I was like, woof. Yeah. No, I haven't really done this in a couple weeks, and I'm not where I want to be. So I'm not going to run an ultra anytime this month. Like, I was like, hey, maybe I'll jump into an ultra. I'll probably just do 1 or 2 laps of Fenway, but not really be too worried about it because I also have concerts like every single day that week. And we're teaching the USA OCR coaching certification the day before. So it's like, I'll go, I'll run it, and then I'll get up to New Hampshire and I'll go see a day to remember. It's
Yeah.
fine. And then I'll take my off season. I would like to get back out to Abominable and do their endurance challenge. That would be fun. Um, but we'll see. Haven't really put a lot of thought into it. I did what everybody does after every single terrifying race and said, I'm never running Killington again. And then about a week later was like, I think I'm gonna run Killington again.
Hmm.
Um, so like I would love to plan Jersey Ultra, the Ultra World Championships in France, and Killington. Then, sprinkle in Savage because I get a free race with Savage. And I would love to get out to Ireland for World Championships. And especially with OCRWC going to Australia, I think a lot of people are going to be looking to join the national team next year for um, Ireland because that's easier to get to.
Yeah.
Um, so I think we'll have a decent national team next year, and I would love to be able to go as an athlete. Part of why I haven't done any national championship travel the last few years is because I knew if I was going to go to World Championships with USA OCR, it would have to be in, a capacity of like officiating or coaching or, representing the
Yeah.
organization because so many other people who are in the organization um, go as a national team member. And like, that's their prerogative. They're very welcome to do that. I would love to do that. But with the position I have, I am in charge of so much of the personnel side of stuff that like I couldn't in good conscience go and not be like some coaching staff or,
Yeah.
personnel of some sort. I can't go and be an athlete, but now that things are moving better, maybe I could figure out how to go
Hey,
as an athlete.
which
But
would be cool.
that's,
I mean, it's
yeah,
yeah.
that's also on my birthday. So, like, Ireland and my birthday sounds like a great time. But so does My Chemical Romance on my birthday. So we'll see. Who knows? Um, yeah, and I think I wanna see if I can find a High Rocks mid-year somewhere next year. Because I think if they have Boston around the same time next year, then it's going to be even closer to Killington. And don't know if I want that.
Yeah.
Um, but like 2 weeks after Killington just wasn't good timing for it. So
Yeah.
maybe if I can attempt another High Rocks, but away from a big race, I could actually train for it and do better. But I also think that I want to stick with the pro women weights, um, which was what we did with the mixed doubles. So like I know I'll actually really have to train with that because now I'm doing it all by myself.
Yeah.
So who knows? That's all just me brainstorming. I did say I'm gonna sit down and try to put together a schedule. Um, but that didn't happen.
It's but there's plenty of time. I mean, we're
Oh
only in
yeah.
October right now.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
But I'm like really miss working out and I feel like lazy. And even like when I was going on vacation, my coach was like, "So do you want to train?" And I was like, "Train for what? I just finished Killington and High Rocks." Like, train for Fenway?
yeah,
I can run Fenway but blindfolded on my hands.
yeah.
Like, that's not a hard race.
I mean, there's nothing else happening at Fenway right now. They're out.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Sorry, I just had to throw it in there. But I mean, and that's the hard part. Like once you finish, and that was kind of my thing. I mean, Amber's looking at me like I finished, Ironman on Sunday, and on Tuesday I'm out in the garage on the bike trainer
Yeah.
doing 17 miles, and she's like, you just finished like 2 days ago and your legs are still hurting. I'm like, it's an easy one. I'm taking it easy on this one. I'm just
Yeah.
getting the blood flow into my legs, because I'm thinking about the next. Because it's like, what do I want to do
Yeah.
next year? And I keep thinking, I'm like, okay, no, I don't think I've done Waco now. I've done Galveston. There's a new Dallas one, but I think it's already sold out. So I'm like, whatever. Nobody wants to go to Dallas anyway. But so I'm like, what do I want to do? Do I want to do another Ironman next year, or do I want to look at like there's a bunch of smaller races in Houston, but most of them are sprints or Olympic distances. But I mean, those would be good practice, just to get that race feeling in. So I'm trying to think, what do I want to do with that? I mean, when it comes to like the Spartans and stuff like that, a lot of that falls into place. Like, okay, what is, the Dealers of Hope going to need me to fly out to and help? Other than that, I'm not really looking too much at Spartan. It's more I'm looking at the Ironmans. What do I want to do? Old, that. Um, I know I've been talking to Dawn. We have one of the Mariana who we helped through when I went up to Seattle, which I wasn't supposed to be at, but I flew up there and did it anyway. But I did the Seattle trifecta weekend a couple weeks ago. Um, and I went up there and flew and we helped Mariana through that. And she wants to do and she's got cerebral palsy and she's deaf and wants to do some triathlons. So that's one of the things
Okay.
that I've talked to Joey about with Dealers of Hope on how we could do that, because it's going to be tough. It's one of those things you got to figure out because you have three different things. You have to figure out how you're
Right.
going to get, which I have a good idea of how to get an athlete through the swim, which would pretty much be, they call it a belly act, but it's basically a blow up canoe with like no seats. You put the
Yep.
athlete in that, and then you just drag them behind you while you swim. But I'm like, but in that case too, I'm gonna need a second person with me to make sure the athlete's okay. Because if I'm swimming, I'm not gonna know. They could fall out and drown, and I wouldn't have any idea. So
Right.
you need somebody with you. So it's the whole figuring out how that would work. And I mean, that would be a tough thing to train for, but the way I swim, I probably swim the correct way to do that because I don't use my legs. So I don't need to worry about them getting tangled up.
Do you follow the Agars?
Mm.
So do you know who Annie Agar is?
Mm.
She's like a content creator for the NFL like stuff, and she has like a podcast. She's phenomenal. But actually her brother, I forget what he has, but he and his dad have finished Ironmans, like numerous
Hmm.
Ironmans. They've
I think I've
gone
seen those.
to
Yeah.
world championships, and like they've been on the news before, like numerous times because his dad will, swim him through and like push him through, and like they have a special bike and everything to be able to complete triathlons. Um, and yeah, like I first saw them as like Ironman triathlon stuff on like Good Morning America. And then I was on Twitter, and the brother is a huge Lions fan and Annie is a huge Packers fan. And she creates a lot of content. And I was like, oh my gosh, I love her brother. And then I was like, wait, that's the guy. Um,
That's awesome.
so
And
like
see,
I
I'd
would
like to look at those.
yeah, I would look into that because they have it like streamlined, um,
Well, because
with
there's
the
different,
swimming and
yeah,
biking and everything else.
and there's different bikes you can get. Because I've seen a couple different options of like, you can do like you do with the kids where you pull them behind you in a trailer, but that one's a little,
Yeah.
eh. There's another one that I've seen where there's actually extra seat in front of the bike where the person can sit, and they're strapped in and everything like that. And that's, but I mean, I think they're like $7,000 or $8,000. So it's kind of like one of
Yeah.
those things of like
Yep.
figuring out the funds for that and figure out how to
Yep.
make that work. So I mean, there's a couple of things that we've looked at, and it's one of those things I think it'd be really cool if it's something that we could figure out at some point, for the to do, because I know there's a couple of other athletes. There's one here in Houston I know that wants to be able to do a triathlon.
Yeah.
So I think it'd be pretty cool to do. But I mean, it's one of those that I'm like, I'm not a great swimmer to begin with, and I
Right.
would have to really train.
Yeah, that's something you're really going to have to train for. And like you might need to train with the athlete because, together you need to figure out how are they going to move
Hmm.
or sit still or whatever else, and how are you
Yeah.
going to accommodate their weight?
Yeah. And that's gonna be that would be the hard part is, I mean, making sure you have the equipment. I mean, I guess I could get like, the boat, belly act, whatever you want to use, the canoe, whatever, and throw like 150 pounds in it and then go. But I mean, like I said, for me, the hard part is, for one, I don't, like I said, I don't kick.
Yeah.
It's one of the things like everyone's like, that's insane. I've never kicked when I swim. It's arms and that's it, which is one of the reasons I'm a little slower. But at the same time, I don't burn my legs at all when I swim.
Right.
So, but for something like that, where you could tie it to your leg and go, I don't have to worry about, hurting my legs or getting my legs because I don't use them anyway.
Yep.
But still, you're dragging, depending on how big the person is,
Yep.
plus the boat and them and dragging that behind you in the swim. It's going to be a rough one.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the things that I'm thinking about, like for next year, the year after, something like that, to come up with a way to make all that work. But, and then training for it, figuring a way to train for that, that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll get there. So
Awesome.
yeah, so it's gonna be an interesting year. Like I said, I need to get like the bike a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
So, like I said, though, I think if it wasn't for the foot, I think I would have been where I wanted to be. I wanted to be about 45 minutes faster than I was.
Yeah.
So, and if you look at my times, if I'd kept the times that I had for like the last 5 mile break and this first 5 mile break, I would have had that. But it was that middle part where my foot just,
Yeah.
everything went bad.
Yeah.
But that's kind of what you do. When it goes bad, you figure out, it's where I think you find out more who you are than when it's all going well.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's all a lesson. Just take it and keep training.
Yeah. That's the plan. Keep training, keep going out there. Like I said, as soon as I got back, I was still back outside and out in the garage and training and doing my VR and doing my bike. And like I said, I need to get out and run, but I've been trying to give that foot a second I've done a little bit of slow jogging on the treadmill the last couple nights, but I'm just trying to let that foot kind of feel
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
So like I said, Amber finally pulled something out of it last night, but so yeah,
Hey, hopefully that means it can now heal.
hopefully. I hope so. Because yeah, I need to get back into the training and get ready for next year. So and get ready for if I'm gonna do a full iron, that's gonna take
Yeah.
a lot of training. So, but we'll get there
Yes. You're gonna get
someday.
there. Yes.
Right on. Well, you got anything else you want to say to the listeners before we go?
We are teaching a USA OCR level 1 coaching certification in Boston at the Phoenix the day before Spartan Fenway. So if anybody would like to join,
When
come
is that?
on through. It's November 7th.
Oh, I'll be in South Carolina.
Is that the same weekend?
I think it's actually the weekend in South Carolina is the weekend after, but we're
Okay.
flying up. We're spending a week in South Carolina before.
Oh, okay.
So, because I think that's the weekend of the Orlando, the Para Championships.
Okay.
So is that weekend? Because that's one reason everyone's like, "Are you going to that?" I'm like, "No," because Amber's already planned for us to be in South Carolina. So, but I'm like,
Right.
"No, I'm gonna go to Orlando while you go to South Carolina." I don't think it's gonna end well. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would choose South Carolina or Orlando any days.
hmm.
Since I was just in Orlando this weekend and it was a disaster. I don't like Orlando.
I've been there a couple times, and the airport's horrible. The traffic's horrible. It's just
People are horrible.
yes, because most of them are there for that annoying mouse.
Or
So
even Universal, like
yeah,
people entitlement and
yes,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I'm going to South Carolina. It should be better.
Awesome. Well, enjoy.
I will. I will. It should be good. Like I said, I'm gonna do the ultra with Blind Pete. Gonna help him get through that. So that'll be a fun one.
That's so
Wasn't
fun.
wasn't planning on it, but whatever. I guess I'll have if I'm gonna have a belt buckle from North Carolina, I might as well have one for South Carolina as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so might as well.
Awesome.
All right, perfect. Well, you
Yeah.
have a good evening.
Thank
I'm
you.
gonna
You as well.
I'm gonna go get some dinner and take a nap.
I think that's called sleep. You're just gonna sleep for
Probably.
the night.
Probably.
Okay, we'll
All right.
talk soon.
Talk to you later.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the BeastNet podcast. If you haven't done it yet, find us on Facebook, like and share the podcast. Give us a review on iTunes or Spotify. All these things will help to expand the show in the future. Don't forget to subscribe and let us know what you think and what you'd like to hear.